Monday, Tuesday.
The wordplay is so crazy.
I love it.
Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we're here looking at something pretty special, a bit of a full circle moment for me here in this position on YouTube and on Patreon. We're gonna look at my very first published choreography breakdown of 7 by JUNGKOOK. It was the first one I ever posted, and because at this point in time, this is where we're at on the BTS marathon journey I have spent since January 1st of this year all the way through to now. We've been diving into their discography as a whole with so much behind the scenes and extra context built in. So now I have all of my puzzle pieces, all my ducks in a row, to where seeing 7 in the context that I know has been really incredible and cool to see. So I thought it'd be cool to circle back and see JESS of 2023, fresh off the press, starting her journey in this way, what she has to say. I don't remember what I said, so this will be really interesting to dive into together. I'm ready. I hope you guys are. Let's get into it.
Here we go. Monday, Tuesday. The wordplay is so crazy. I love it. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 7 days a week. Every hour, every minute.
I still have the same intro. Something's never changed.
What's up, everybody? My name is Jessica Holyfield, and I'm a dance educator, professional dancer, and dance teacher based out of the southeast of the USA. And today I'm going to be reacting to JUNGKOOK's 7 dance performance. So I'm very excited about this for a couple of reasons. Firstly, a lot of the dancers that are in this piece, I've seen their work and I've seen their journey as performers and as choreographers. So it's really cool to see like a full circle moment of them being a part of this
I forgot I
project
made those
with JUNGKOOK.
videos.
And secondly,
Good job,
it
Jess.
sounds super catchy. It's a super fun vibe. And I am a huge fan of John Bellion, and I know he is affiliated with the inception of the song or the production of the song. So there's just a couple of those factors, which is why I'm really excited.
I made my music, background music really loud.
I'm going to do an initial reaction, and then we're going to kind of go back and decipher and do a little bit of that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
So this is fun fact. This is technically the second review I ever did for YouTube of material that's not mine. BT by BEI was my first one. This was my first published one, but my second one I ever did. Look at me having a format and how I wanted to go about and do it. You go, girl, pop off. You better be consistent, and I still do that today.
Great choice with white on a black background. Ooh. Okay, some threading. Let's go.
Oh. I bleeped out the F word because I had kids watch me, and I was really, really sensitive to it. And I still have kids watch me, but they watch my shorts. I remember editing the F word out.
Like, yeah. Yep. The wordplay on this is really tasteful. Like, it's nothing too crazy. Okay, new choreo, new chorus. Yeah, it really looks like everybody's thoroughly enjoying this. Yeah. Okay. Love it. Okay, dancers are like, I'm gonna go take a break.
I would still say that even today.
Love it.
Wow.
He just get you some water. You worked hard. See, look, he didn't even break a freaking sweat. Look at that. You know why? BTS choreo is hard. And this is not. When it comes to the scale, this one is such a vibe. Intermediate to advanced, not like the Keone hard. This is a vibe though. You gotta count. Let's go. Thank you. In there. It just makes sense. Yep. Light change was great here. Okay, James. See. We see. Yeah. Man. That was good. That was good. I'm a fan. Okay, so let's talk initial reaction. I really like the costume choice a lot because I think that because first example is the bass that they hit in the very beginning. Let me go about right here. So we walk. So I have it on 0.75 just so we can see things a little bit more clear. That bass right there. So you saw them all go boom. And when you have clothes like this, a lot of them have a more like sheer material. And they're a bit oversized as well. You're gonna get that extra fabric is going to rebound even after your initial rebound is done. And that's gonna really help in the case if you want something to extend in longevity when you're trying to justify a particular sound. So because of that bass, that boom, even though that bass isn't really there anymore, it's not, but it bleeds into the next, right? But that just really helped make it feel more full. And I think that's the trend in all this choreo. Shoulders right there. All of it just is dragging it out, and they're using their chest a lot in this. And R&B, this is an R&B aesthetic. I don't think it's in the R&B like genre though, because I think the BPM is a little bit too quick, and there's a lot of extra timbre that doesn't really match that. So that bit right there. Waist, and this position, a lot of times waist you would think just here or here, but they chose to do a high and a mid, and that is honestly a more intimate position because whenever somebody's holding somebody by their head and by their waist in media or when you see it in real life, it feels like they're really trying to like safeguard them, and it's more intimate, I feel. And
I touched on that exact thing, not in the same way, because I did the review of the dance practice. I talked about the silhouette where they created, like, there's a person there. And then I remember when I made that comment, I was like, this time yesterday, that I remembered saying something about that part here, but I don't remember what I said, and that's what I said. I think, wow, I'm just sitting here listening, and I'm just really proud of myself for growing in how I present information, but also in trying. I feel pretty consistent, if I'm being honest, which I'm pretty proud of. Good job, Jess.
I feel like we've already established though, like this is a super intimate type song, especially the explicit. So
right.
It makes though that kind of choice is just, I think it's tasteful in the fact that it's establishing that level of intimacy in more of an Easter egg way.
Yeah.
Those are nice little nuances. I like the nuances the dancers have the liberty to make whenever they're doing this performance. So like I said earlier, they're doing threading right here. So I'm turning it just a little bit of threading here. And you also notice that they're repeating on both sides, and I think that that's appropriate for the song because when he's saying the phrase and repeating it, and so the choreography is making sense on a musicality standpoint. It is repeating it, but mirrored on both sides. So I think it's really nice. You don't want to do too much with this kind of stuff. And right there, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't think I need to elaborate on it because I do it a couple times. You know what kind of song it is, and that is to be expected. But also notice everybody's clothed, so it has a sense of tastefulness to it in comparison to if nobody was wearing clothes, you know? So it's all
true.
It's all about context.
That's right. I agree, Jess.
Yeah. And I really like the floor work that they still stayed low, so it allows a moment for JUNGKOOK as he sings. Like, you see them transition though, so there's still movement, right? And here we go. Monday, Tuesday.
The wordplay is so crazy.
I love it.
I remember what I said there. That felt really good to sound just like me there.
So it's not overly complicated. It is polyrhythmic because they are moving their lower half. So they switch the weight and then they switch their feet. But what they're doing is their arms are, the focal point is the upper body, or the arms. The legs kind of complement and give depth to the upper body performance. So, but notice they went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But they kept the same move, but just grooved it out on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because a lot of times we consider that the weekend. And and I feel like whenever you see the guitar, inception of
Whoa, what did I just say? Hold on.
And I feel like Wednesday, Thursday, the upper body performance. So, but notice they went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But they kept the same move, but just grooved it out on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because a lot of times we consider that the weekend.
Oh.
And and I feel like whenever you see the guitar, inception of that, for me, I've seen it most frequently on a foundational scale under locking, like the funky guitar, right? But of course, they don't have a locking aesthetic here or an influence, but it is really cool to kind of see that kind of vibe, right? It's not really funky, but it's cool that it's like cool, like an R&B
It's
cool.
cool.
So it's just
cool.
they're vibing out, and that move right there, I think, was a good choice to break up the intricacy of the first half of the week into the weekend. Saturday, Sunday of the week. So they helped you hear week by creating a very static position at the end of that syllable, which was really nice.
I really like how I was expecting to honestly see this and go, wow, she's so stiff. Who is she? She is me. I know. But the difference between how I'm, talking about it here versus now is I think I'm more personable. I'm not trying to be like intentionally constructive or like intentionally giving choreo breakdown feedback. I'm trying to be understanding. I'm way more understanding now than like a blanket ignoring context of how somebody feels. When you watch it and just go off of here's the choreography and here's the concept. I was very like black and white back in the day. I do remember the mindset I was in for that. And now everything's gray. Let's talk about what comes across more black and white and what's in the gray and why it's okay to celebrate both. So I like the fact that I was able to grow through that by doing this as much as I have.
Yep. So, and there, I'm this groove right here, just having that opposition with that chest and it's complementing that hand. It just looks really nice to be able to see that and be like, yeah, this is it. 7 days a week. And you notice in their upper body too, like you can tell when they're like thoroughly enjoying it. And there's a part in here that I'll probably stop on that JUNGKOOK, he looks super vibey with it. I think it's in the second course though. 7 days a week. Every hour, every minute, wordplay right there on a watch. Yep. So they did this part right here. So they rebounded it over from position 1 to position 2. It goes night after night. And I think that was a really smart choice because whenever you're repeating a phrase or night after night, it is nice to kind of frame it similarly to how you frame the words. So the words of night after night, and these are same words, doing a move and then transitioning over to the other side but making it similar kind of creates a really nice, it cognitively feels more full and it feels more complete whenever you connect it that way. So I think that was a really smart choice. And then 7, so they just use 7, like the number 7, I don't know which way, but yeah, that was a I like that. It's cool. Little freestyle moment. This, for me, feels like dance break. I love it. And then I don't know if you noticed this, but Jungkook did a great job of establishing direction on where the camera needed to go. Very nice. You want to hear that? Ooh. So right there. So he chose to do the lean, and then they transition over into their next little section. And then as he leaned and he went back and he snapped back, he's like, hey, here's where I want to set up this formation. It's over here. Usage of space is very full. Great speed change there just to give him that moment of physical spotlight, even though he's the vocal spotlight, obviously. But just having him there, it's just a nice physical visual so you remember he's the singer of this. That was a nice moment too because everybody used their lower half, their legs, where he used, ready? Everybody used their upper body. Jungkook was the only one who didn't use his legs at all. He just used his body. Everybody else framed it out with their legs. So I know the back people probably used towards the inside, and then I think my front people went towards the outside. And that was really nice. It was a good frame. Nice walk. Deeper than the ocean is. So ocean, a lot of times in dance and street styles, waving is a great style. It is.
I said the exact same thing. When I looked at the dance practice, I said the exact same thing. Waving, wave, water, it's the perfect correlation.
The closest affiliation to water, obvious reasons because waving is also influenced because of the water. So when he goes deeper than the ocean is, like having that waving influence, it's wordplay, but on a fundamental scale, which is super, super dope. I love it. Then they thread again, but they're in different positions, I believe. And then I feel like they did, instead of one big one, they did two in two different positions. So that was like a modification or a progression from the first time they did that, which of course ups the level of intimacy of the type of song it is. And then very nice. So whenever, there it is. Okay, so whenever you have them like around or rapping, a lot of times you're going to see dancers do those kind of choices. I would do the same because any type of wrapping, you can think threading, which is what you saw earlier, like a wrapping of the head, wrapping of the arms, waving into a connection. A lot of times you'll see people make those choices because whenever you freestyle, which is what you notice here, there's a lot of little nuances of freestyle. Like in that instance right there, after they do this section, they're over here. Yep. Good, and the give me life, that was their moment, but also he said in the previous phrase something about rapping, right? So it just gives that moment, they give context before and after, and so in their freestyle moment, they're able to keep it concise with the choreography that they've done. That's another freestyle moment. They freestyled, but they had to be practical in how to finish it in order for it to not be cut off, but then everybody come back together. And this is more of, they were picking up the pace of the groove, so they were making it a little bit more full in movement. Because they're all dancing together, they have that option. There we go, right there. I'm gonna backtrack just a second to reference the look on his face. Saturday, Sunday, that right there, that was real. I'll tell you why. Because whenever you have, because remember, Jungkook, BTS, they have been known, one of the things that put them on the map early on in their careers was the difficulty of their choreography. Their choreography was hard. I mean, Keone on their mess, like for Fire and for Dope, and for a lot of the ones where they were starting to get picking up in popularity globally, those are hard. So for me, a lot of that kind of choreography where you're just doing a chug like that feels so, like the moment of freedom's like Saturday, Sunday, like it just, having this kind of groove built in and then having a lot of those types of digs or those types of chugs, it just feels like the energy just hits a little different compared to whenever you're trying to just go intricate all the time and dying. So I'm gonna be honest, I think Jungkook probably likes this choreo a lot, I would hope, because and the dancers too, because it is not so dense and physically demanding in the sense of in complexity. So it has simple movements to it, and the grooves are meant to be chill, laid back. And what comes with that is discipline and control in how you choose to extrovert or engage into your movements. So I think Jungkook likes the choreo, and it showed on his face just then. I don't think that was a facade, because it's way more chill. You know, look at that. They get to walk more than just 2 counts. Like, they get to sit and, like, come on. Second, yep. And the dancers like this choreo too. You can tell, they're like, yeah. He ain't breaking a sweat. This is child's play.
He ain't breaking his sweat whatsoever.
Oh.
This ain't no Dionysus at all.
Yeah, 7 days a week. But that is also playing onto the groove that they did earlier as a group, but it was bigger, but he made it smaller because of the camera angle that was there. So smart on his part, shows his maturity as a veteran in the industry. There's a rebound again. Very nice. And then I know from here, they're chilling out, they get a water break, they go off. I'm going to skip that if that's okay with everybody. Everybody comes back on. Now notice, they're not just going to basket run or dip, they're going to pulse it. And this is such like a 2000s R&B, like whenever they're talking, they're conversing, like Usher, so they're like, you know, they're going down. That was a really cool choice where they're still low, where you still see Jungkook as the reference point, but you see them all dip down, but they're still doing something and they're still in it underneath, not just the surface level of what the song is, but they're riding the beat underneath without making it a big show. And I think that's the trend of the whole choreography, is it's not a huge show, but it's very captivating because it's so laid back. And I think that was the intention of the choreographer. I'm always a fan of good wordplay, and I think the wordplay was very tasteful. And I think I've said that a couple times already. And look, they're all like karaoke. Very nice. They're doing pops right here. So those are arm pops. But if you want to look at this dancer here, I believe his name is Brian Puspos. He's doing more of a puppeting, scarecrow-like texture in his arms.
I think JHOPE is too.
That is a little different than just like your typical Fresno. A Fresno, the structure and the timing is a little different, but for that, they're hitting a very particular part of the music. And so for me, a pop was super appropriate there, and I'm so glad they put it, and I think I said that earlier, but I really like Brian's choice to kind of make it a little bit, to make those arms dangle a little bit more. But I just want to let you know, like, there's a whole branch genre of a popping texture, that's scarecrow or puppeting, if you want to look into that he does, and that's cool. Yep, that right there, if you don't know what it is, it shows up a lot in media, it shows up in a lot in dances. That's James Brown. So it goes heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, and then web foot slides in. I did do some research before I watched this video. I don't know if Lyle was affiliated with this, but it showed on what I saw that he is affiliated with this performance, possibly. So choreographer.
I forgot that Lyle Benigo was involved, but Lyle does use a lot of this type of stuff.
Sienna too, but anyway, it's okay. It's okay if it's a little off. But he adds that James Brown move a lot in his choreography specifically, so there's just a good chance that he may be the one who put that in there, which for me, I'm like, that's fine, because it matches, it works. And James Brown is one of the fundamental artists, and just his importance in the hip-hop street culture and the street community is second to none. So I would say the more James Brown in something, the better it is, in my book, personally. But it throws it. Lighting change really helps, because they're doing the same choreography again as they did in the first course, but then they add a nice hip thrust there. 7 days a week. Oh, they just did it twice, which is nice. That same groove is like a reset in dancers. And then they added more of a footwork. I don't know if it was not a butterfly. It was a type of...
It is a butterfly, because the dance practice shows them doing a butterfly there. Aha!
Afro influence.
Yep, it is. That's a butterfly.
Similar to what they did, I think there's a BTS comeback a little bit ago.
Oh, minute move, left and right. Run BTS. I've already reviewed that. Ha
But that is the move that was in there, so it feels like they added that in here as an influence to what he's done in the past. But notice how chill they are in the upper body to where it's really hard to figure out what they're doing in the lower half. That shows their fluency and the isolation between the two grooves, which is important when you want to get a certain visual off. And then there's that James Brown move again. And then he goes 7 days a week. That was nice. All in all, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the connection between the movement to the music. I think they had a blast doing it. I saw they did like a performance.
I looked so tired. I don't think I was wearing any makeup that day.
I enjoyed watching. The music video was fun too, and yeah. Thank you for sticking it out with me. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this was helpful in some way. If you have any questions, have any recommendations for me, I would love to be able to curate what I look at more towards what you guys would feel would be more beneficial for yourself. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye.
Oh, wow. We've come so far, haven't we? Wow. I actually did not mind how I went about that because it's the same format that I've pretty much always had. I got the receipt right here. I watch it the first time all the way through with no stops, and then go back. There was a period of time where I went full speed in the review, but then I've now officially gone back to 0.75 in the choreography breakdowns. I don't say react anymore to my videos. I mostly do review because I know like myself reacting to something is only one component of the video, and I treat it more like a benefit, not the main thing, if that makes sense. Like understanding how I am responding to it does help give you an idea of how excited I am going into the choreography or looking forward to it or kind of setting it up in that way. But I really love doing the choreography breakdowns, which is why you may notice on my videos it's going to say choreography review or battle review or JESS review for that reason, because I am reviewing it, right? I'm putting it in a scale of, do I like this, do I not, and why, but then you get to see me experience something for the first time too, so it's kind of like double-sided. But I'm really proud of the fact that I haven't changed that much, and I say that in a good way. Sometimes not changing is good, and sometimes change is good. I like my video format now. I like the fact that I upgraded and got proper equipment that helps with clarity. It helps with relatability or just really putting in investment to bring a good visual representation, so it's a little bit easier to receive. And as you guys noticed, I kind of felt like if you guys watched me watch Chuck watch me, it's a very weird thing to say. Chuck is a really big advocate for SB19, and he reviewed one of my reviews of SB19, and how he said it just was like, I'm just like watching her and absorbing. That's kind of how I was feeling watching myself as well. So I think I have more charm nowadays, or I think I'm way more comfortable on camera now compared to back then. I mean, I feel like that's going to be everybody's case, but I think I like the fact that I've maintained the realness of, you can look at that and go, oh yeah, Jess is still like that today. Maybe a little different in how I present information, like what we talked about, but I'm still me. And I'm really proud to say that I haven't changed in that sense, where I'm trying to be myself the whole time, because that's the best, most effective way to be yourself, if that makes sense. So this was great. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this with me. If you're like, Jess, oh my God, you said that you've looked at all this stuff leading up to this. Absolutely. It's all on Patreon. If you have not seen it all here on YouTube, I'm special releasing this as a full circle. This was my first published review, so I thought it would be really cool to just give a little follow-up, because some of you guys may have not even seen this, because I have thousands of reviews on YouTube and Patreon. I have at least 3 times more on Patreon, so it's really hard to find this. So I get that. So I'm really happy that I can at least watch it alongside you guys in a 2025 lens. It's 2.5 years ago when I looked at this. And I'm really thankful that some things really haven't changed, which it just shows you that I still think it's a good choreo. So this was fun. I want to hear from y'all. Do you guys like this format more than how I do it nowadays? I don't know what's different, what's the same. You guys have been more observers than I in the past, so being able to hear, I think that'd be great. And also, were you a part of the first video journey and want to hear from you as well? So I'm Jess, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Bye.